So today's a sad day, August 3rd. It's been about 2 years or 3 years?
3 years and 3 months.
3 years and 3 months. We are hopefully returning our Jeep Wrangler and getting a new car. We're on our way to the dealership right now. So it's sad. We've had a lot of memories with this Wrangler. We learned about the Wrangler wave.
Yeah. I think I'm most sad about not being able to have a top off. Although
We've never used it.
No. The first year we had the Jeep, we left the soft top on even through the winter and everything. And then once we put the hard top back on, we have never taken any of it off.
Yeah.
And we aren't using the Jeep for what should be used for.
Exactly.
So.
I'm not like a Wrangler person, like getting it in the mud and doing all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So with Nyx now, it's just not like a functional car for her. I love her Mazda. It's very digital and things are higher tech. A Wrangler is very rugged, and I like the car. It drives well. It's cool looking. There's a lot of fun things about it.
Everything.
You can feel everything.
You can feel every bump, so with kids and Nyx and stuff, it's just not practical.
Exactly.
Anymore.
So we're looking at I'm a big fan of the Chevy Traverse. It has 3 rows for eventually if we have another kid or something like that. It's a cool looking car. It's stylish. The old versions sort of look like a minivan, but the newer versions actually are nice. So we're looking at that, some other Chevy cars, maybe a Jeep Grand Cherokee. But we'll see.
We're looking between a 3-row car or
this might be the turn, I think. I don't know.
2-row car. So we're not sure.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Okay, so you can see it has a screen, but it's a mess in here. But when you go up to the roof, these are the hard top panels. So
these come out.
They come out, which is nice. So you could pull the hard top panels out, but we still never do it. And then in the back, it's all the hard top roofing. So it's just very cold in the winter, and
it's a cool car for a rugged
even the
person.
doors. It's just very rugged. And
when I rolled up to CrossFit, I felt cool, but
yeah. And so I don't know, we've liked having the Jeep, but we just don't even use it ever. He never drives the
it's
Jeep.
Also a pain.
We always take
it's
my car.
When you take these off, you don't want to get them scratched, so you put them in the trunk, and there's these bags that they go in. I guess if we started doing it more, we'd get a little bit more familiar with it.
We used to when we did have the top on.
We once took a road trip and it started raining and we had to stop in Indiana and take them off. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember. The other thing that's really annoying with the hardtop is it's so hard to take off and store it. Remember the first time we got the Jeep and we tried to bring it into our apartment?
Oh my gosh. We have a little doorway. And I think we have pictures that maybe Molly can add into the video.
I don't know if I have them, but
I'll try and find them. But there was just a little regular doorway, a doorway to your house, and we just felt like we could fit the whole top of the truck in our apartment, which was on the top step walk up.
We lived on a 3-4 walk up.
So we took it off, which was heavy as whatever.
I literally back squatted the Jeep top.
And then we literally got it to the door and realized that it wouldn't fit in. And there's glass on the back, mind you.
Yeah,
so we're trying to figure out how we can turn it to get it in. And just all of a sudden we were we can't do this. So we put, I think, a message on our gym, membership board, asking if anybody could come to our apartment and help us lift it and take it. Luckily, the owners let us keep it at their house, because if not, we were calling storage.
A year.
Yeah, but we were calling storage places that day on a Sunday morning to see if we can keep it in storage. And some places said we could, but others, we couldn't fit it through their doorway either.
That was the problem.
So it was a mess. We didn't think it through, but eventually our owners let us.
I think the problem is we weren't aware of how big a Wrangler top actually is, because we have a 2-door, a 4-door.
Well, it's
Wrangler.
anything. You look at a McDonald's sign on the highway and it looks fairly small.
Yeah.
But then I'm sure if you took that down and stood right next to it,
so shaky.
It'd be the size of a 20-story building,
Right.
Something to that effect.
Right. So yeah, moral of the story is if you have a Wrangler, having a hardtop and fully taking the hardtop off and putting the soft top on, because we also have a soft top.
Yeah.
It's a process. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to get hopefully a new car. Hopefully we get a good price. I told Molly, I was like, why don't we just stop somebody with a Traverse and ask them how much they
but
pay a month?
Yeah.
She said that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But then if I like specifically said, did you put any money down or anything?
Yeah,
but it's also
no,
a weird
but it's
question
also
to ask
like,
someone.
Like
That might be a Molly's mind topic.
You-
It's just like, is it okay to ask someone what
how
they
much
pay
they
a month
pay
for their car?
for anything. But anyways, back to the car and the lease. Why I told Corin, you can't just ask somebody who has a car you want and be like, oh, how much do you pay for a month, and think it's going to be the same, because they might have a Traverse. Like the Traverse could cost, like, let's say you just get the least expensive model, no add-ons, no like nothing crazy, just basic model, which is like, we don't need all the crazy stuff in a car. But we want it like a little bit nicer than like the Wrangler that has literally nothing. But
and we want space because we drive back to New York, and sometimes it's
anyways,
tight.
so let's just say that model with like kind of bare is $30,000. You could also get a Traverse that's like $75,000. It's like $40,000 difference between the same car.
But you get
even
an
though it's
idea.
No,
like,
you don't get an idea, because a $70,000 car or a $30,000 car, that's a $40,000.
Well, that's why if you frame the
difference.
question, like, did you put any money down? Like, do you have all the whatever?
It doesn't matter. There could even be like a different engine in the car. There's like so many things that you're not gonna think of.
You'd get more information than if you didn't ask them.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't know.
Like, they'd have to have the exact same model.
I'd still feel fine asking, but I guess it's a weird question to ask.
It's hard because there's so many factors.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, so if you have a Traverse and you see this video before we get one, let us know how much you paid and
won't
and
see
all
the
your
video
and all your
before.
amenities.
You'll probably see this video a year from now.
Maybe.
But anyways, we'll update you throughout the process.
I'm lucky, and I don't know if this helps or doesn't help, but like a kid who played in my basketball league, he owns a lot of dealerships out here in Illinois. So they say sometimes if you're close with someone, you get ripped off more. Hopefully that isn't the case.
Helped us with the Wrangler, so we're hoping he'll help us out today.
Yeah.
But we're also lucky because we have my dad,
Yeah.
and my dad owned a dealership for 20 years, so he
Is like a
knows
guru,
a
yo. The
lot
question-
about cars. So whenever we always lease, and so anytime before we sign paperwork, they'll give us a price, and then I'll say, okay, well, I need you to talk to my dad, and we'll call my dad, put him on the phone, and then he is able to like talk him down, like sometimes even $100.
Yeah.
Like it's a big amount that because he knows what to ask, he knows like all the right questions,
The stuff
he knows,
you need.
like any average person isn't gonna know that type of information.
Yeah.
And he knows all the kind of added things they throw in there so they make money.
A lot of
And
times you sit at
so-
the dealership, and this happened to us when we were looking the other day. They start saying all these numbers and
Like,
rebates
it's
and
like
finances and back.
0.00332%.
There's a special deal today because the dealership is trying to push this and that. Her dad, George, is amazing. Like with just calling him, and he just gets down to the nitty gritty. Like, nope, they don't need
Yeah.
that. They don't need that. They don't need that. And in it's funny because like the manager feels like they're in power when they're talking to us, but then when we give them the phone and
Yeah.
George is on there, you see their head start spinning a little
Yeah.
bit more with like
And-
we could switch that or do that.
And Corn and I, like, you know, how we're dressed, how we go into a dealership, like we look like two just young kids who know absolutely nothing, and like we really don't know much about it. But I know that we're gonna call my dad, and my dad's gonna like make sure
Yeah.
we're not getting ripped off. And when we were at the dealership the other day, we told him what we wanted to pay, and he gives us a price that's way over what we're telling him we want to pay. And we're like, no, like this is crazy. And he's like, if I give you a good deal, will you like do
Buy
it
today,
do
yeah.
it do a deal today? We're like, no. We're here. Worst place on
There's a
earth.
Traverse right there, white one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we would do black.
Yeah, I like the look of the white ones, but
Is this like parking for me?
yeah, I think so. Traverse.
This seems like
Three
like a
rows.
bare one, you know, because like
Yeah.
once it just has like the cockpit with just like the stuff. I mean, it
Yeah.
has an automated screen though, which is
Yeah.
nice.
But there's only two things I look for in a car. Keyless entry and a reverse camera. Other than that, I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care regardless either. I mean, a sunroof is always nice.
But it's not
No, I know. But
Yeah.
no, it's cool. I mean, it's spacious right off the
spacious.
bat.
Yeah. Let's look in the trunk. All right, so he's test driving the
This
Traverse.
is the Traverse. Right now it
Like-
feels really nice. It's like smooth, just hit a bump. I mean, it seems spacious. It's like big cup holders.
Yeah.
I like this in the front to just throw crap in. Screen looks nice. Seats feel nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of like
Extra
bells and whistles and
yeah.
things that would come on a car, but like we really don't need any of that. What we're looking for is the space.
Yeah.
Like these seats push back and forth, and then there's a third row and so much trunk space.
So
in
he's
here.
given us the option. We're test driving this, and then the Equinox is the smaller version. I like this one, but I'd be curious to see what the price difference is in the Equinox and the Traverse. But I don't know. I'm sort of starting to like the Traverse, just like the spacing
space.
and the look of it.
Yeah. So the one dilemma we have is on color.
Yeah, I just want like either like black is number one, white is second, but Molly's car is white, so I mean having two white cars is whatever. It's just I would prefer to have a black and a white. Or silver would be like a last resort, but this is like a gunmetal gray, and I hate that color for some reason. Like I'm just not a fan of it. Like I guess.
But they said this is the only 19, and the 20s they don't do deals on the 20s.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they don't have it, then we run into the issue of not being able to have a car, and
So yeah, I mean, I guess
that's
but, like,
not really an option for us to not
They
get a
always
car
say like
today.
I can call another dealership and see if they have black or white. So I'm
Right,
curious to
but
see
then
if they
it's
can do
like
that.
you have to pay the shipping fee. It was like, because remember my first two cars were both a color I did not want.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you have to settle. I mean, we have to see what they'll do. So, but I feel like we can't.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll see. The color Corn doesn't like. I like it, but Corn's not into it. It's like a dark gray. I actually like it better than a silver, but it's not. Whatever. Alright, so this is the Equinox. It essentially looks very similar. I don't like how this is like tilted back. It's like very hard to see this screen, which I don't like. It also like feels very like close in here.
I mean, like this is all close, but I mean.
Yeah, and then this is very close back here. The trunk back there is huge.
Yeah, big trunk space. There's a little more space here because this is smaller.
Yeah, the arm thing is smaller.
Dashboard's pretty small.
Yeah, but it's all just kind of like small in here. Like I feel like even compared to my Mazda, this is like really small. That's what Corn does at the dealership. He's stressed. The transfer is happening. We have a giant stroller, so we're gonna put that in. All right, we're leaving in our new car.
I feel like we got.
We didn't get got. Corn always feels like we got, but we didn't. So we went with
The like gunmetal gray.
yeah.
2019 Chevy Traverse.
Yep.
It's nice.
And we have the space, which was like our number one thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like so much more spacious than the Equinox was inside. And so overall, I think it was a successful trip. And actually that was like the most hassle-free
Well, because
car.
it basically was just like, here's what you're paying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
And like normally when we go in, it's just like they're trying to like do something crazy. Like this guy was just like very straightforward with us. It was really easy. And while we were waiting to do the paperwork, they gave us Illuminati's pizza. So that was a plus.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's always Corn's attitude with
I mean,
this
you
kind of
just
stuff.
never know if you're
Yeah,
getting
you never
got,
know.
like-
But like we're not paying that much more than we paid with the Wrangler. And we got what we wanted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story, we got a new car and it's all good.
Yeah.
All right.
In a quarter mile,
So,
turn right onto Illinois 68
I don't
East.
know. I guess this is see you later.
Bye-bye.